Right, folks, this behind me is something we really need to have strong conversations with our girls about. Be it your daughter, your sister, your niece, your mother, your auntie, your granny, your next door neighbour's daughter, it doesn't matter. If you know a female, have the conversation with them about self-protection and how to protect yourself, right? Now, Glasgow Uber driver launches sex attack on teenager he picked up from a nightclub. This guy picked up a 19-year-old girl in the city centre, drove her to the Woodlands area and then sexually assaulted her. And this is from Glasgow Sheriff Court. So let me be clear, this is not misinformation, this is not scaremongering, this is not any of the sort. This is something that we're hearing about every second day now. Not always in the press, because they don't cover it anywhere near as often as they should. But you hear through various different sources that there's been yet another attack. Now, as a staunch feminist, I have to tell you, I am 110% against the fact that we should be chaperoned anywhere. Women should not be chaperoned. We should not have to depend on another human being with us to keep ourselves safe. No, we shouldn't. But the reality is we now live in a society where that is slowly becoming the case. If you want to be safe, you have to be at least two of you. And that's just wrong on so many levels. But it's not going to turn right overnight. So until we can make that something that is no longer the case, we just have to do what we can to keep ourselves safe. Now, I was out a couple of nights ago with North to South and Scots Active, and they showed me when we came through the Woodlands area, we had this conversation, which is why this has gobsmacked me. We had the conversation and they said, Audrey, when we come out in the Kelvingrove Park to here, there's usually a string of taxis sitting there, private taxis, and they're waiting to pick people up, passing predominantly young women. Now, legally, they're not allowed to do that. If you want a private taxi, you have to phone for that private taxi. And they'll send you a text message with the registration, the make and model of the car, and sometimes the driver's name. So that you're logged on a system of being in a specific place at a specific time with a specific person. And should anything go wrong or should you go missing, they know exactly where to start when they come to look for you. But if you're just getting in a random car in the street, girls, what kind of position are you putting yourself in there? Let me tell you, it is not a safe one. So you might think, I'll get home quicker. But you know what? Chances are you won't. Chances are you won't. And if you do get home, you won't get home safe and sound. You could go home like this young woman, traumatised for life. Because, make no mistakes, folks, sexual assault is a very, very traumatic thing for any female or male to go through. It is a horrible thing. And it's something my brain just cannot process. I just can't understand what the attraction and what the I don't even know. There's just no words for it. There is just no words. Now, I was also at the rally today in Glasgow Green against digital ID, and I was approached by a man who tells me he is a karate expert and he is giving free self-defence lessons for females only. And that should be up and running fairly soon. So as soon as it is, he's promised that he will get the information to me. As soon as that is available, I will be screaming it for the high heavens so that you're all aware of it and you can all take full advantage of that. Because we have to pull out all the stops and we have to really focus on self-protection. Now, when you're in a taxi, whether you phoned it or whether you've jumped in it in the street, phone somebody. Speak to somebody on the journey home so that that driver knows. Somebody here on the other end of the phone that knows exactly where I am. Take a picture of the registration number before you get in the car. Make sure the driver hears you telling that person what the registration is, what the make and model of the car is, and what type the driver is. Is he young? Is he old? Is he Glaswegian? Is he not Glaswegian? Is he talkative? Is he not? It's not a crime to sit and discuss this when he's driving you. So please don't feel embarrassed. This is about protecting yourself, and we'll pull out all the stops and do whatever it takes to protect yourself. At the end of the day, when the media's not covering it the way they should be covering it, we feel that the police are letting us down left, right and centre because they just don't have a presence. I mean, if those night patrol teams can tell me that it's happening often there is taxis sitting there picking up young girls in the Woodlands area. If we know that, and then Glasgow Sheriff Court here has got cases where there has got young girls being driven to that area and being sexually assaulted, why do we not have a heavy police presence up there? Because, do you know, after my night and Wednesday night out in the town with the patrol walks, we don't have a police presence of any kind. We saw one traffic cop car over at the West End, and we saw one police van down near Argyle Street. No beat police at all, no patrol police, nothing, and no even a police presence of any sort driving about just to be seen as a deterrent. None of that. The authorities, what are they doing? The parks are pitch black. The streets aren't really well lit because this LED lighting, some of it isn't worth the bulbs and the effort that it takes to put them in. So, come on folks, please have the conversation with your girls. Any girls you see, and take whatever protective measures you can when you are out overnight. If that means having to have somebody with you at all times, then so be it. Just until we can get this silly pandemic of attacks on women and girls, because that's what it's becoming, a pandemic. Until we can get that under control, we have to look after ourselves and look after each other.